Bro, La Liga this season is going to be hot. I've told you, if you don't watch La Liga, maybe now you need to reconsider. Madrid has made a lot of signings, so everybody wants to see how they perform and who flops. Barcelona have made few signings, and normally we are the defending champions, so people also want to see how we compete against Madrid. I'm sure La Liga teams will be very excited to play any of these teams, But these are my La Liga prediction for this season. This is how I think the table is going to end, with a lot of people, with a lot of teams, coming up from relegation. Malaga, for example, I love Malaga from back in the days when Isco used to play there. So Malaga being in La Liga back after so many years is one thing I'm looking forward to see how they perform. Racing Santander came back as well. These are going to be my predictions. So I'll start from 20, then upwards. So I start from the people that is going to be relegated to the top of the table. I might be biased, but let's see how it goes. So I think Alaves is going to be relegated. They tried last season, but I think they are going to be relegated this season. At number 19, I think Racing Santander are also going to get relegated. They did well getting promoted, but I don't think they will be able to survive the La Liga, the technicality of La Liga. Third person, I think Levante is going to get relegated. They survived last season. Last season they had 42 points, just goal difference. They survived with just goal difference. I think this season they might get relegated. I like Levante to be in the league. We used to know them as Kingslayers. They used to pull up offsets, but I think this time around they have to get relegated. Then at 17, I think Deportivo La Coruña is going to finish 17. And Malaga, I think Malaga is going to finish 16. Coming from the Division 2 and being away from La Liga for so long. So I don't think they'll get relegated. Maybe because I like them, but I don't think they'll get relegated. So I think they'll finish 16. Then at 15 is Valencia. Valencia has been very, very disappointing, and this has to do with their owners and their way of doing business. So I think they're going to finish 15. Valencia used to be a very strong team before, but they are now more like Man U of La Liga. So I think they're going to finish 15. And then I think at 14, I think Sevilla has been very, very disappointing. In fact, Ako Adam has left them. So they are, Sanchez too have left. So I think Sevilla is going to struggle this season. They're going to struggle, that's what I think, and they'll finish 14th. At 13, I'm putting Getafe there. Getafe, they tried last season, they did very well last season, but I think this season they might not be able to replicate what they did last season, coupled with the fact that they'll be in Conference League, so they'll be a bit distracted and all that. So, Espanyol, I think Espanyol is going to finish 12th. I'm beginning to hate Espanyol because of the way they behave. The few times we won La Liga on top of their head, the way they behave. I don't used to hate them before, but I'm beginning to hate them. But I think they'll finish 12th. I don't think they'll be relegated, but I think they'll finish 12th. Elche, I believe Elche will finish 11. Elche played very well last season, especially beginning of the season. They were on fire. They played well, but later on they dropped. But I think this season, I think they will improve. So I'm hoping they will improve and they'll finish 11. In 10th position, I think Celta Vigo will finish 10th. Last season they did well. They finished 6th. They played very well, and they're going to be playing in the Europa League. So I think the Europa League again is going to distract them. And making them lose focus. So I think they are going to finish lower than they finished last season. Celta Vigo last season was unstoppable. They beat Madrid. In fact, they nearly beat Madrid home and away. In the first leg, they beat Madrid 2-0. If you remember the pass that Igor Aspas gave, and they beat Madrid 2-0. In 9th position, I think Atletico Bilbao, they've been very disappointing. In fact, coupled with the fact that what Nico Williams did, so he should finish in the crease, maybe finish 9. Osasuna, I think Osasuna will finish 8th. Osasuna were actually disappointing last season, especially towards the end of the season. They were a bit disappointing. Oh, and they narrowly escaped relegation, but this season I'm hoping that they are going to stay. They gave Barcelona a lot of tough time. Last season they gave us tough time. Last 2 seasons they were always tough, but this season I don't think they are going to underperform again. So I think they are going to finish 8th. At 7th place, I think it's going to be Real Sociedad. They always finish at the mid-table. Last season they finished 10th, but this season I think they will improve and they will finish 7th. That's what I think. On the 6th position, I think Rayo Vallecano are going to finish 6th. I want them to finish stronger than they did last season. And the fact that some of their key players has actually left is going to affect them in some ways. But Rayo Vallecano are a very strong team. Last season they gave Madrid a lot of tough time. So I like the tougher team in La Liga to always, I like them to do better, to always do better. So I think they will finish well. Last season they did do in the Conference League. They reached the final. They played one of their most amazing football in Europe last season. I started watching them from the quarterfinal to the semi-final to the final, and they were very, very dominant. Apart from the final that they lost against Crystal Palace, but they were a very, very strong team. Crystal Palace had the money. They spent more money than Real Vallecano could ever spend, but still they finished the league. They finished last season. They finished strong. They finished 8th, and they reached the Europa League final. So then at 5th place, I think Betis is going to finish 5th. They have the goats. So they should finish better. Last season they actually finished 5th, but so I think they'll finish 6th. I don't think they'll go to the Champions League, but I think they'll finish strong. At 4th place, Atletico Madrid should finish 4th. If Alvarez eventually leaves, they should finish 4th. Last season they finished 4th, so I think they will still finish 4th again. They decrease. In fact, they've even go down. They don't want to sell Alvarez for us. They never say anything. Then at 3rd place, I think Villarreal is going to finish 3rd again. Last season, Villarreal was unstoppable. And I think for 2nd place, obviously, it's going to be Madrid. No matter what they sign, they are going to finish 2nd. I might be biased, but I pray and I wish they finish 2nd. And for 1st place, obviously Barcelona, I can never put my team below 1st place. If it happens, it happens. But I believe we're going to pull up another amazing season and make sure that Madrid go trophyless again in La Liga. So I think Barcelona will finish 1st, Madrid finish 2nd, Villarreal finish 3rd, Atletico Madrid finish 4th, just like last season. So that's what I think is going to happen this season as well.